Hi, my name is Breton. I am the owner of Ondine Ocean Farm, located on Nelson Island in the Sunshine Coast. I was working a consulting job and really I wasn't working for my passions and I didn't have the opportunity to work creatively. So I started trying to find things that intersected my passions with what I enjoyed doing, and ocean farming was the most obvious solution for me. I really like where it lies at the intersection of food security and sustainability. 40% of the average Canadian household's greenhouse gas impact comes from food consumption, and that's a combination of pollution in the supply chain, but it's also like food waste. When we talk about scaling up food production to meet growing populations, it's not reasonable to assume that all of it's going to be happening on land, because agriculture is the driving force of deforestation in the world. That was a big draw for me for getting into oyster farming. It's just that it's so sustainable. Unlike regular agriculture, we don't have competing land interests. We don't compete with housing. We don't compete with commercial development. It doesn't require deforestation. You can grow a ton in a small space. Like, the carrying capacity of this farm per a trophic level in the ocean is 2.2 million. So there's 6 trophic levels in this space, so we could grow a ton of food. And it doesn't require any inputs, no fertilizer, no pesticides, and we don't have any waste streams. That's really important. Everything that we deal with agricultural runoff issues, those things are all things that oysters turn into food. If you've heard of nitrogen dead zones, where regular agriculture is basically putting fertilizer into the ocean, then you get these huge blooms of algae, and then the algae take all the oxygen out of the water, and then when fish go in and swim through that water, there's no oxygen in it and they die. So oysters pick up all that dissolved nitrogen and they clean it and filter it from the ocean. These guys, at their current size, they can filter 183 liters of water a day. One of the things that's nice about growing them with kelp is that kelp doesn't do well with the dissolved nitrogen, but it does put oxygen back into the oceans. And then kelp also attracts urchins. If you harvest urchins from the kelp forest and put them in with the oysters, and they keep the oysters clean and healthy. So they work really well in a symbiotic relationship. There's a lot of opportunities for taking advantage of these relationships. The way the market's really set up right now is around raw consumption, but cooking with oysters has a substantial impact on people's environmental impact. I really want to sell direct to consumer so that I can talk to people about, how much more sustainable oysters are as a food source, and then really try and do different initiatives to get it so that it's a center of the plate staple food source rather than a fancy appetizer. The Sunshine Coast Credit Union has been very supportive of my business from the beginning. I got a really great relationship with my personal business advisor, and she really fought for me. I was able to access the Spring Online Business Resilience Program. It gave me a lot of access to things that I didn't really understand, like bookkeeping, finances, management, how to do sales channels, things like that. And yeah, it went beyond just lending. When you're banking in a community credit union, you know that money's not going to be leaving your community. Where I'd really like to see this go is I would love Ondine to become a community space where people can come and learn about how to build a regenerative business that's land-based and space-based, learn the basic technical skills that they need, how to write a business plan, how to secure financing, how to do fundraising, how to do regulatory compliance, and then go off and do their own project, because that's really the only way that we're going to see large-scale change, is that if we've got lots of people doing it. And I really don't ever want to be scaling up, but I do want to scale out and create good neighbors. Earlier on this month, I did the first harvest by myself, and it went so smoothly, and it was so fast and easy. And it was the first time that I really thought, hey, I know what I'm doing, and I am good at this. I'm really good at this, and that felt really nice. Yeah. Be responsible for the impact that your money has.